Okay, everybody, welcome to another Fabulous Movie Killers, where we'll be killing another fabulous movie.
And the Star Trek universe. Even numbers, so it's supposed to be better.
Yes, I like this one. It is my favorite Star Trek
what's this
movie.
one called again?
The Wrath of
Kahn!
I'm not screaming Kahn, you guys.
Cunt?
Yeah, you are.
Your
Okay.
continuous source of inspiration.
Alright, I'm not
Now.
gonna lie, guys. I couldn't find shit.
Really?
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 I'm sorry, no. What I found is more of a complaint of the Star Trek universe.
Okay.
Okay, well, to start out, I've made one realization about the Star Trek community as far as the movies go, and I realized something. This is the future, but this is the future after the social justice warriors have all had their way.
Yeah.
That is why the female officers are called Mr.
Yep.
It explains why these exploratory vessels are armed with very little firepower.
If any at all. Even the space stations have no defenses. And that's my main complaint, actually.
Yep. It also explains why Kirk sleeps with everyone indiscriminately, because everyone deserves to be treated equally.
I can't remember. Does he fuck an alien in this movie?
No, he fucks a woman and has a son,
Okay,
and that's
it's
the blonde
Kirk.
guy.
Oh, that's right.
He does. It's just not on screen.
Everything. Yeah.
He's not in every scene, so you can just safely
I forget
assume.
what are those little fucking fuzzballs called.
Oh, the,
Tribbles?
Tribbles.
The Tribbles. You know he's fucked a couple of them.
Oh yeah, he was waist deep in them. There's pictures.
Or to put it past it. Yeah.
He also killed one and put it on his head, if you believe the toupee rumors.
Yes.
All I'm saying is about the toupee rumors, one of my biggest issues is you'd think after how much time he's been in the limelight, somebody would have found one picture of him without. That's what makes me go, no, probably not a toupee. Somebody'd have a picture.
It's definitely a toupee.
No.
I'm calling it.
No.
I
Dude-
want to see a picture.
Dude, the way my hair is, wet, it can be nice and smooth, and once it dries up, it can fluff out. Sometimes it will do random directions, some weird angles. It will throw out sometimes.
I believe
I
that
don't believe
in
he
the
has a toupee at
60s,
all.
He straightened his hair so that as to get more roles.
Probably.
Okay. I can
But
see that.
I don't believe that. I think there would be some evidence of it.
Alright, so that's our major plot hole for the movie right there, right?
Yeah, that his hair is his real hair, and that helmet hair is why he could fall over on the bridge.
Fucking
No.
killed it. We're done. We don't have to go on with the rest of the fucking show.
Honestly,
We're
the
good.
only thing I could see and point out was the fact that, and you kind of already pointed out, the fact that the Star Trek universe ships, the Federation ships, are so underpowered, so defenseless, including their space stations. I mean, what the fuck? Of course shit goes wrong. They got nothing. Okay, they have some torpedoes and some lasers. Yeah. But we only put our shields on when we think there's a threat. What about radiation? What about, I mean, because I know this was earlier in decades, but still. The ship should have at least some basic shielding up at all times.
Oh, the episode
But-
is called Space Seed. If you're wondering what episode this is actually a sequel of.
Yeah, which didn't
called
help.
Space Seed.
Which didn't
Yes,
help when I
was
watched
getting
it,
ready to say that.
because I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something here. Even though the movie still explains itself pretty well, and at that point it's okay.
Those damn social justice warriors.
But
Well, Spain, coming to that point of explaining itself very well. Let's go ahead, Tom. You and I, I'm pretty sure, have this one together. Yes, we do. And it is the In Space Seed. Was it Chekhov? Or
Chekhov.
Was it was yes, it was
Chekhov.
It was Chekhov.
But I got the
He was
answer to
not
this.
in Space Seed, but Kahn recognized him.
If you watch that episode, you'll see that Kahn read the entire ship's staff manifest. He knew everybody and would have a picture on there. That's how he knew the female doctor who was on the ship that he got marooned on the planet with, the wife he aforementioned in this movie.
Okay.
So that he would have
that
recognized
Chekhov
Chekhov.
could have been on the ship, just not have been working on the main bridge crew, because I mean he was.
He didn't see him physically, but saw the manifesto.
Later.
This is 15 years later.
So he could have worked his way up to where
I mean,
his position is now.
yeah, if he remembered
Well-
the entire crew, thus with his great intellect, he could have potentially. Oh, I did air quotes, by the way.
Couldn't tell by his tone.
Yeah, that he would have been able to remember the entire crew, and therefore
Yeah,
he would have remembered Chekhov.
Not to mention, once you pass adolescence, you
I mean,
physically
how-
don't change visually, in the
Not to
face
mention-
too much.
how many Russians could have possibly been on that ship.
Well, hey, this SJW
whoa, no.
future. There are no Russians. They're just people.
Oh
The
yeah, you're right.
Federation.
He's not Russian. He's
We're looking for
Czechoslovakian.
nuclear vessels.
Vessels. Vessels with a V.
Nuclear
Vessels.
vessels.
Nuclear vessels.
Nuclear vessels.
All right.
All right.
Now,
Go ahead, Tom.
yeah, but that's the one that I had that I could refute that with. That's all I had for that. For being
That makes
able to
sense.
That is also one of my major movie killers, though, is that if he never met Chekhov, he wouldn't have been able to recognize Chekhov.
Yeah.
He'd never known an association with Kirk.
Actually,
and therefore,
I do remember one minor. It doesn't really change the movie too much because they still could have found a way to complete. Was the scene where he does recognize Chekhov. Before that happened, when Chekhov realized where they were, what ship or what cargo container they were in, why didn't they request?
No, that's it right there, though. How did he recognize Kahn?
Oh no, the way he not
He
Kahn.
knew exactly. No. He looked around. He said, "I know what this is.
'Cause
We got to get the hell out of
He
here."
saw the name of the vessel, the SS Botany Bay. He knew from archives. Oh shit! But this is what I'm saying. Why didn't they contact the ship? Beam us up now.
Yeah.
They didn't make no attempt to contact. They ran out and they got ambushed.
At this point, they did not have beaming technology.
Yes, they did.
In this movie, they did not use it once.
They had it.
That's
That's
just
how they
them
got.
being-
This ship was not
No.
equipped with it.
No, they were beamed.
No. He was not on the Enterprise.
The captain and Chekhov were beamed down on that surface.
I never once saw that happen in the movie. Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
They got
also
beamed down?
the
They did the
what was the
Okay.
Reliant? They also
Yeah.
had they beamed up the Genesis machine.
Yep.
Fair enough. Okay.
So, yeah, but
why
that-
didn't they beam out?
But the captain and Chekhov never made attempt to contact the crew. Get us out of here now.
Yeah,
It's
they
Kahn.
didn't even give you a plot reason for it. Like, you know.
It's not a
it was
major
just-
one because
No,
they still would have been ambushed if they weren't beamed up in
But
time.
no, but that is a plot hole that Chekhov shouldn't have actually been able to recognize that this was Kahn because he never met Kahn, never bumped into Kahn, never talked with Kahn.
He recognized the ship name
Okay.
because it said SS Botany Bay, and that's when it clicked. He's like, "Oh crap, this is this. We need to leave now." And then they got ambushed.
All right. Well, I got a little one. It's not really
we
a
know.
plot hole per se, but it's one of those that most movies do it, and I fucking hate it. The 4-minute countdown to the fucking explosion of the Genesis lasted more than like.
It lasted
9
8 minutes.
It lasted 8 minutes. Was it 8 minutes?
Yeah, that was one of mine too.
I didn't put a timer on. I just started kind of counting in my head, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
I put a timer
Grow
on
up.
it. It actually lasted 8 minutes.
Oh my
4-minute
God.
countdown.
It's
That
annoying.
was a
I hate
minor
that
one
shit.
for me as well.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. So, okay, this one is a basic coverage of science for me that annoyed me. It is one of those little plot holes. Whereas, okay, when in the history of science has things escalated so quickly that 1 year's time is enough to move to the next phase of testing? All right, here, we built a device. We've done some minor tests. It's been a year. They don't even know, and obviously because if you know what the next movie has in store for you, they obviously
What's
didn't
that?
even know that this Genesis actually has an effect on the recently dead. So, I mean, they can't be that far in the testing process where they're not going, "Oh, you can't put Spock's body on the planet." Why not? Oh, because it'll reanimate him
Wait, Spock comes back?
in the next movie.
That's a spoiler.
Well, the next movie, I should warn you, the next movie is called The Search for Spock.
I'm.
They're
once
not
again,
trying to find the remains because,
I
damn it,
actually-
I forgot to take the watch off him.
I actually haven't looked up the title.
You
set.
were going to tell us about your small one.
No, I was gonna look. You
Between
said
your
something. I
legs.
was gonna look it up. Oh,
Okay,
fuck me.
so-
Okay,
Oh, well.
okay. Kirk states that 1 year ago she presented this to Starfleet for testing, and that was a year ago. So she should have moved on to Phase 2, and there's no reason for them to have moved on to Phase 2. That's what testing in Phase 1 is for, to decide if you're able to. And obviously, they don't even know the full parameters of their own device, so they have no reason to move on to Stage 2, especially not in this high-tech future.
Well, and that's just it right there, though. You're basing it on our current society and current testing parameters and procedures. Yes, in our time, Phase 2 would not have happened that quickly. But you have a space station that's set far away from any contamination problems, and that's all this crew is doing. They're working on this project. In that future, with advanced areas, could they have sped up that process? I think so.
But they didn't.
Okay.
Because they didn't know the effect on the recently dead.
They did not test.
So they did not test to the full ability.
They were
When you put all your resources into something, the Manhattan Project, the building of the atom bomb, went from paperwork to testing in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once they successfully tested it once, they put it on a bomb and sent it over to Japan and blew the fuck out of them.
Two.
Okay, now,
Two of them.
to reverse that, because you're talking about a weapon, which you don't need to worry about the fallout of.
Yeah, they weaponized something else, but
Yeah,
still.
sure.
This is the Genesis, which is meant to terraform a planet. Which means that everything on this planet is now dead. But how long has it been dead?
Yes.
I
And
mean,
I agree
now
with
imagine,
saying.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but now I think of things like, okay, the first airbag ever created took 10 years to test and get right before they moved on to putting it in cars. Not a weapon, that's why it takes longer.
to save
You
lives.
gotta
You're right.
worry about
Okay.
hurting people.
Yes, and I agree with what you're saying.
Yep.
I know what you're saying, because what if there was some life form that was recently
Yeah.
deceased, or something still living there? What would happen?
Yeah, they even covered that. No, I won't even try this on a planet if you find something
Yeah,
that
even
could
one,
be alive.
even one microbe, we won't do it.
Yeah, which just makes me wonder, why didn't they try it out on
But-
like our moon?
And I agree that
Yeah.
there should have been more testing to
Well, by this time, they
ensure.
probably had a base
Yeah,
on the moon.
which is basically my whole thing. It's not a movie killer, but it's a plot hole that after 1 year of testing, you'd move on to the next phase of actual trials. Like, let's pick a planet. Hey, let's try, and then that brings me on to another small one.
Well, actually, they kind of only
Go
did
ahead.
one part of that, like a certain cavern, and they were more or less
Yeah, no, they
slowly
did it
and they were
inside
watching.
that
Yeah,
cavern. Yeah,
contained.
That,
So
they did one micro test then.
yeah, and they confirmed there was nothing living there, but they should have tested in case something living was there or something recently deceased
Yeah.
was also there.
Which
I mean, 'cause
goes
I've-
across on my next one.
Because I'm assuming
Which
that's how
is-
Spock comes back.
Kirk had access to all this because he's the admiral. He had to
Yeah.
approve it, I assume. So he had to also approve the planet it would have occurred on. So do you think he wouldn't have heard that planet's name? Remember that he marooned a bunch of people in that solar system.
Yeah.
And
Well-
do you think he wouldn't? And do you think they wouldn't have checked the whole solar system to make sure there wouldn't have been some
No,
sort
they
of
were in the same
domino
solar
effect?
system.
They decided to do it on Zeta 6.
Yep.
He marooned Kahn on Zeta
Zeta
5.
Yeah, that's actually my major plot hole.
Yeah.
My major plot hole.
Oh,
real
that's
quick.
not mine.
I mean,
Yeah,
granted,
mine
Kirk
is,
didn't know about the project.
Oh wait, that is my big one.
Starfleet-
Shit.
Starfleet was. They knew what
That
happened
is
in
my
Space
big
Fleet.
Yes, Starfleet would know.
And
that.
they knew Kahn was on Zeta 5, but for some reason they wanted to go terraform Zeta 6.
And Kirk knew what planet.
And although they had a
Well-
wide choice of testing equipment, Reliant
That was
couldn't
my
figure
big
out
one.
that Zeta 6 had
Kirk-
exploded and displaced Zeta 5 out of its orbit.
Which
That
killed
was
off
my
nearly
major-
That was my
anything.
major one too, and I just didn't look down to go, oh, that's why I remembered that small little one. Because it's my biggest, it's my only big one right now.
I
Yeah.
agree that the Federation would have known that, hey, we marooned Khan and his people there. We should keep
Stay
it
away
some,
from this
At
area.
least keep an eye on this. I agree.
This
But
major-
Kirk himself did not even know what Genesis was, because when she called to confirm the order, he's like, "What's Genesis?"
Was he still an admiral in this
He's-
movie?
he's
or
an
was
admiral
he-
yes,
still,
he's
yeah.
Admiral Kirk.
Wouldn't he fucking know that?
It doesn't, like, as a general or an admiral does not mean that you know every single military project under your wing.
But
completely.
Here's the thing,
He
though.
can access the information. What's
Yeah.
that?
He did know about it because he said he already knew about it. Oh, we need to know what this is. He already knew. He said, come on, I'll show you. Pretty much took them in there and showed him the thing that he had pulled up.
Yeah, that's after he pulled it up.
Yeah.
But initially, he had.
No,
didn't
he had
know.
already known what it was. He was not surprised. He was like, yeah, so they're doing it on this. He would have to. Somebody would have to have known that and
Yeah.
gave that
And that's
information
why I
to
said-
somebody who would have known.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
There
what
was
Kahn-
definitely a hiccup in the chain of command on letting this happen right near one of your big threats.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, to me, the whole big problem with that, and it kind of sucks that we started that so early.
Yeah,
as,
sorry.
that's my fault. I'm the one who spoke it out early. Like, but that is the major plot killer for many reasons. One, why didn't they check the whole system? Do you then they would have realized? Wait, Zeta 1, Zeta 2, Zeta 3. What happened to this planet?
Yeah.
Where'd this other planet in the system go first?
And if it knocked 5 out of orbit, it wouldn't be where their star dates or star chart say it should be.
Well, that's the thing is when Zeta 6 blew up, they said that it moved Zeta 5 out of alignment into the place where Zeta 6 was. And that is why they were terraforming Zeta 5, thinking it was Zeta 6. That is exactly what they state in the movie.
That's true.
That's the thing. But the problem is, as far as I'm concerned, is you think somebody would have counted Zetas.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's hard math.
We're missing.
We're missing a Zeta here.
How many
all-
Zetas are there altogether? I think like 8.
I know there's at least there was at
There
least
was
6.
at least 6. and
Okay,
that was
well,
only
at the
5.
very least, if you ever research space station over Zeta 6, the real Zeta 6, right? or whatever Zeta they're above. They're not above Zeta 5.
Yeah.
If you know that not too far from you, relatively speaking, in this universe, and with their modes of travel, that you know there's basically an exiled enemy of the Federation. Yep. Would you not think there would be someone on that space station whose sole job is to keep an eye on that and go, wait, the Reliant went over there? No.
Exactly.
No, can't. No, call Federation. No, call Starfleet. We have a
100%
problem.
accurate. Yeah. No, that's exactly the plot hole.
Yeah.
Is somebody should have figured out that Zeta 6 was actually Zeta 5.
Yeah.
And then should have immediately said, okay, time to find a whole new system.
To be
Why?
fair.
Because our data is imperfect here.
Yeah.
We stop everything.
But wait, if that happens, there's no movie.
Exactly.
But that's.
All right.
But then again, SJWs, they're not exactly the smartest bunch. Shit, so this doesn't make some
but
sense.
you see, here's the thing:
Well, hey, there
is
is one and two genders in
you
this
don't want that planet to get offended.
Oh yeah, it's true.
That is a whole planet.
I'm sorry, they didn't want to assume the Zeta number.
Don't.
Zeta 5 did not want to be Zeta 5 no more. I am now Zeta 6.
You have to call me Zeta 6 now.
You have to call me Zeta 6.
That's the rule. Anyway, so I'm gonna bring up another one that annoyed me.
I'm all out now. You got all mine.
I'm sorry. No. You can still do that one.
Oh,
but,
yes. Okay.
But I'm gonna pull this one out. Is revenge is a dish best served cold. Is called an old Klingon proverb. It's not a Klingon proverb. It's an Earth proverb
We
from
have to.
1846 from a book called Memoirs of Matilda.
Wow.
And you'd think somebody who was around for 200 years
Would know that.
would know before we ever had contact with Klingons. We already had that saying.
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah. I never thought of that one. Good catch.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was odd that it was just saying it was a Klingon proverb.
It's not a Klingon proverb. It's an Earth proverb used in Russia.
I didn't account for the fact that he would be from essentially our time. It would know the
Well,
difference.
damn close enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He would know better.
Yeah.
But then again, he was a very cocky person because he was genetically superior.
Okay.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
going back to that other one now, and
Steve
actually
has
still have
one
it here.
more. He lied.
Kahn is the only person who has aged in this movie from Space Seed. In Space Seed, all the people that were with
Well,
him-
no, the whole crew of the Enterprise.
Wait, you mean those Chippendale dancers?
Yeah, the chip. Yeah, no, that is an interesting fact. All of the side characters with Ricardo Montalban on the thing were all Chippendales dancers.
No wonder why they were so cute. So, in the first Space Seed, they're all around, all of his crew members were all like 30, 40 years old. In the movie, they're all in their 20s, late teens, early 30s.
Yeah.
So they de-aged. If
And there
that's
was-
a fucking word.
And there was no sign of any cryogenics on the maroon
Yeah,
ship,
nothing.
so yeah.
And then all of a sudden you got Montoya over here with his fucking
Montalban.
chest piece thing that's not really a chest piece, it's his real fucking chest.
That's his real chest.
Yeah.
He said he did a bunch of push-ups to get that chest.
100 push-ups.
And I believe him because he.
100 sit-ups.
He's
10K
not. No,
run a
he had
day.
hair.
Oh shit.
He didn't lose his hair yet. But you know what he
He
did
wasn't
have?
there yet.
Yeah, strong arm.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah, when he's on
strong-
fire. Yeah. No, could you imagine holding your arm like that for like 5 takes? You know he had to nail that first shot. No, crawl up the machine, open it up, try to hit the button, because this is gonna hurt after a while.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, they are actually doing the arm up. And
Yeah, we are doing like chicken winging, is what I call it.
I will say, there was one thing that made me happy in this movie. They finally flew and utilized the third dimension in space flight.
Yes.
And they make mention of Spock makes mention of it. He has very two-dimensional tactics.
Because when he comes around the planet station, he's like, where'd it go? And they're below him over on the other
Yep.
side. It's like,
Which actually
finally
goes along with something I noticed in the movie. Well, as far as you know of Spock in the series of movies and television show, and Kahn. Kahn plays two-dimensional chess, but Spock plays three-dimensional chess, which also utilizes up and down.
Yep.
Which is why he was able to assist in the beating of them, because he was able to think on that third dimension of up and down.
I wish they would have brought that into the newer version of.
Oh, what? You didn't like him beating him with a fucking fist fight on top of a freighter?
No, the garbage truck. But no, I didn't like. I mean, I liked it. It was a good movie. It's one of my favorite movies.
it definitely fixed some of the issues that this version had.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
yeah.
What, do you guys want another small one then?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
that's
I
the
would love
two
another.
facts.
Okay.
one too.
All right. Well, yeah, call your wife. Okay, this is something I noticed, and it is a plot hole, and it does irk me. It doesn't affect any edition of this movie so far.
Okay.
Anybody know that Saavik was crying at Spock's funeral? Isn't she Vulcan? Isn't she not supposed to feel?
Well, they suppress.
If it's not stated in the movie, it's not a fact.
It's true.
But that's the thing is, Saavik cried at his funeral. No reason to cry. She's Vulcan. They control their emotions. She should not have been sad. Nor should she have been turned on when she saw Kirk's daughter, our son.
I still cried a little bit.
I call him daughter because that mullet, Jesus.
I did cry a little bit.
You cry, but you're not Vulcan.
I know, but it's Spock. He's dying. It's
Oh, he'll come back.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he comes.
Not anymore, though. He actually
But-
is dead.
How do you feel?
Whoa, hey.
No, he's actually
Leave
dead.
me more of that in this. But no, that's the thing I noticed. Like, why is she crying?
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, my teacher died. Darn. Well, I guess I get an A. I don't have to pass the Kobayashi Maru.
Oh, who does?
Kirk.
Yeah, cheats.
He only cheats when it counts.
Yeah, this movie was more of a part to the episode than watch, and
Just a really
there
long
wasn't
part.
really. I mean, you guys have pointed out it's plot holes, and it's still better than the first movie.
Yes,
I'll give it
is.
that.
It's
is
an even
very
numbered
good.
movie.
Yeah.
And this is
But
supposed
no,
to be
I mean-
best of the original series movies, supposedly,
What?
according to the internet.
This is, as far as Star Trek original series movies go, this is considered the best of the best. Now, it no way beats First Contact.
No.
Hands down, that's the best movie ever for Star Trek as far as
I'm
I'm concerned.
I'm hearing some
We
triggered
have a
folks.
differing of opinion?
I'm hearing some triggered folks. No, no, I know how some fans can be. But
I am a great big huge fan of First Contact.
He is a great big, huge
It
fan.
is my favorite movie. But when it comes to the Star Trek movies, I have to say that one of my favorites in the genre would probably be, well, fuck.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest was
Oh
one of the
my
good ones.
God,
yeah.
I love that one. It's either going to be the newer Star Trek with their version of Kahn.
The Abrams.
You
Yeah,
like
J.J. Abrams.
Cumberbatch as Khan?
I did. I really
I
did.
enjoyed it too, actually.
My name is Kahn.
Yeah, he went to the Shatner School
He
of Acting
did,
for
he
that
did.
one.
I mean, the fans would know right away in that movie this was going to be a Khan movie when you saw it. But if you didn't know, they didn't. The movie didn't spell it out for you.
No, not at
Which
all.
was it was actually that's how you do a reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked based on what I saw in this one.
Even though
I felt it was better.
everybody already knew. Every fan who was... No,
Yeah.
I'm bringing this up. It backs me up on my social justice warrior theme.
Which
too.
part?
Oh, the no smoking at any time on the bridge sign from the first scene was removed later on the bridge scenes because Gene Roddenberry claimed that smoking would not exist in the future. I assume this is because they moved on to vaping.
Well,
He had-
I'm pretty
he had
sure
a
there
point.
will always be smoking, including in the future.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
not
there's that
necessarily, because even in the Star Wars universe, the death sticks were more like an underground thing. It wasn't out in public.
Yeah.
So yeah, the utopian future where there's no disease, no poverty.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You'd get rid of some of the vices that cause long-term harm.
Well, you know what?
So I'm
So what
going
do you guys
to
got?
bring this out right now. Does,
Oh, God!
Yeah, look at it. Does
It's so
anybody want to say that this movie
is dead?
is dead?
I think you guys brought up a
I
valid
think
point
this movie
on
is killed.
so just for review, which was the major one that kills it?
Oh, the fact that Zeta 5 was
Okay.
the planet.
And
not
basically,
Zeta
Starfleet
6.
knew about
Starfleet didn't keep the quarantine as they should have. I got you. Okay, yep, that I
Okay,
can agree completely.
so let's bring up some more stupid shit. Okay, in the movie, originally, the kid who dies, the engineer who didn't leave his post, was supposed to be Scotty's nephew. And that's why he gave a shit.
Yeah. When he came
Because
up,
was
holding
anybody
him,
else
yeah.
like if your manager at Outback, like, oh, we had a huge rush, everybody left, and then the oven blew up in front of Steve. Do you think he's gonna stay in the hospital? He never left his post.
I did not know that.
No.
Yeah, they didn't
See,
imply
that's
in
why
the movie at
Scotty
all.
was there and sad, not just. Well, fuck. He's lost more people than anyone.
Oh,
Red shirts
shit.
are engineering, bro.
That was one other minor
Right.
plot hole I saw. Your little audiovisual unsynchronization just reminded me. Okay, at the end when Sky's in the not Scotty, but wow,
McCoy.
Spock was in the room to basically clear up the reactor, but it was radiation. You're telling me that nowhere on this ship where they deal with radioactive material, there's not a radiation suit to protect? So if you have to go in during that time?
Yeah. You'd think that next to the reactor core, they would have a radiation suit in case you had to go and work on the core.
In case of a crisis.
Yeah. That's a little pothole right there. Spock
I mean,
would not have died.
it doesn't kill the movie because the rest of the movie already happened. But it's still an issue, like I said, with the Star Trek universe.
It kills the third movie.
Yeah.
It kills the third one.
But
hey, we don't have to do the third one, guys. It's dead.
But I mean, seriously, you have this advanced society with amazing technology, and yet
no brains.
No brains behind it.
No
so I mean, it
brains
really
whatsoever.
it does go with the SJWs, who are extreme people who scream about something but don't actually
This
know
is the
anything about
SJW future.
There's more than two kinds of aliens.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's a spectrum.
Species is spectrum.
You ever wonder why they all speak English, though?
Translators.
Gentrification.
Little slug.
Gentrification. That's
Oh,
right. No, that's what
that's
SJWs
Hitchhiker's
do,
Guide.
man. They gentrify areas.
Motherfucker.
That's why they all speak English. Gentrification. Alright, let's... Well, yeah, I mean, everybody should really know that Kobayashi Maru is being the unwinnable. You figure somebody's going to talk to somebody. I mean, you ever taken had a class and they teach the exact same class the period before you?
Mm-hmm.
And you get information from the previous class.
Yeah, you get heads
It's
up.
like, hey, yo, guys, it's an unwinnable thing, man. Nobody passed it. It's the
Yeah.
Kobayashi Maru. The
Hence
only guy who's
why-
ever passed it is Kirk.
Because Kirk cheated. He reprogrammed.
But the
Yeah.
Federation didn't know that. The students didn't know that. Hell, Spock probably didn't even know it.
Well, the Federation, they found out, they actually gave him kudos for thinking outside the box.
Yep.
But she did call him out saying, well, then you've never dealt with an unwinnable situation. Well, I don't believe in an unwinnable situation.
Yep.
There are still times when it's an unwinnable situation and you have to make a call to basically do the lesser of two evils.
He won though.
This time. But then he lost someone. If it wasn't for the Genesis magic bring back Spock
Yeah,
back.
but he still won.
Of course, if they had radiation since Spock wouldn't have died.
Yep, and that wouldn't have been the third movie.
Yep. All right. Well, here's more interesting facts about this movie I can tell you. Originally, when they signed off to do the movie,
Yeah.
the guy who got the picture of the Regent, the other ship,
The Reliant. Yes.
Reliant, was upside down. That's why that ship's upside down the whole fucking movie. Because he liked it so much, like, no, fuck it, make it upside down, make it look different than the.
Oh, that was upside down? I liked it better
the
that
ship
way.
was upside. Hey, you notice how the things
I
are now
did not-
under the dome? It's over.
Wow. I
Yep.
did not know that.
And I thought it was someone being
There you
more
go.
original in their designs.
Yeah. Excellent.
Alright. Yeah. See, even in the IMDb page, they state this. In Star Trek Space Seed, Kahn was marooned on Zeta Alpha 5 with a few dozen of his followers, all of whom were about the same age, roughly their mid-30s. Now, in the movie, set 15 years later, Kahn has aged, but is surrounded by followers who all appear to be in their 20s. They're too young to have been disciples with him, or in the original episode, but too old to have been born on the planet. However, this is possibly a sign that their augmented genetic aging process. But would it Kahn have the same augmented genetic aging process?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you would think.
oh, hey, look at that!
Plot holes. Oh, the plot holes section. Let's see what they said on IMDb.
Let's see what IMDb's plot holes. Let's see if we can beat them. When the Genesis device was activated, the Enterprise should have used the transporter, as established in Star Trek Wolf in the Fold. That's an episode, by the way, not a movie. The transporter can be set to disperse the atoms and thus render the object essentially non-existent. Alternatively, it could have been left in the pattern buffer, where its pattern could have degraded into no longer being possible to regenerate.
Reintegrate, yeah. Yeah?
Yeah.
No, that's a good one, yeah.
Okay.
After Carol Marcus calls the Enterprise to determine why Admiral Kirk was allegedly taking Genesis. Kirk contacts Starfleet, then tells Spock that Starfleet has ordered them to Regular One because the Enterprise is the only ship in the quadrant. But Starfleet knew that Reliant was close to Regular One and working closely with the side station. Starfleet should have tried to contact Reliant first, and when Reliant failed to respond, Starfleet should have warned Kirk. Instead, Kirk is surprised by Reliant's presence near Regular One. If I'm even saying
That's
that
true.
right.
They did state they were the only ship in the area, and then boom, there's the Reliant One.
Yeah, because they only took the Enterprise out just for a test run with the new crew. And then it's like, oh, we gotta go do this mission now.
I like this next one. Reliant is apparently having a very difficult time finding a test planet free of life to test Genesis.
Yeah.
If finding such a test planet is difficult, it would be nearly useless device when they need to find actual planets. That's I like that one.
And then earlier when you said about the moon, they'd probably keep it as far away from a planet full of life as possible during testing.
They could have used Mars, Phoebus or Deimos. One of
They
their
probably want to
moons.
keep it in an isolated solar system just in case.
That's true.
So what else we got up here?
Okay. The date beginning of this movie is given as stardate 8130.4. When Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are viewing Dr. Marcus' proposal at the Genesis Project, the stardate given for the proposal is stardate 7130.4, to which Kirk mentions proposal was made a year ago. The first stardate given at the beginning of the Star Trek The Motion Picture is stardate 7411.4 by the computer of the Epsilon IX space station. At this movie was have taken place approximately 14 years before this movie in 2285. The erroneous star dates would imply that the movie took place sometime after Dr. Marcus's proposal to Starfleet and would have been less than a year ago, which is not the case.
Yeah, somebody messed up the finer details.
Yeah.
And when you jump from an episodes in a TV show to a movie, that can happen.
Okay, now here's a question I have for you that's not based around anything I've read on IMDb so far.
Okay.
Who the fuck did Sulu piss off? He got no lines in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like, he maybe got one line where, yeah, okay, let's take it out. There. Oh, wait,
my.
no, there goes, there goes our pleasure cruise. I think or
that's when
something
he came
like
out
that.
that
Yeah.
he was gay.
He had come out when he was that he was gay to the cast in the '60s, man.
Oh.
They knew.
I don't know.
He didn't keep it from the people he spent every single day with.
Maybe he had more lines, but it just didn't. It seemed like too
I'm
much
just
bloating,
saying,
and they
back
took him out.
then, being gay was not.
I'm just thinking they couldn't shoehorn him in more lines. He wasn't doing anything but flying the Enterprise, like literally controlling the Enterprise. I like how it's like Savik. Have you ever taken one out? Be like,
Yeah.
who cares if she's ever had? The guy who's doing all the work's right there.
Easiest paycheck he ever made.
Yep. That probably bought him his big penis-shaped house.
Oh wow, yeah. There's
my.
there's some stuff we overlooked here. I mean, it's
stuff even you'd have to be a hardcore fan.
it's
to
not a
notice.
movie killing plot holes in some cases, but it's definitely it would change the flow a little bit. Like this one, after Kirk hears a Janitron mission for Carol Marcus, Spock tells him they're 12 hours away. Afterward, they view the Project Genesis, and what happens? They get attacked by the stolen Reliant. Their warp drive is damaged, yet they still get to Carol a short time later anyway.
You know what? I brought that one up to Blake too. It's like, okay, so this is exactly how video communication works. If I turn my back on you, you can't hear me.
Wait, so Tom, you mean you can't hear me right now?
No, but I bet you the microphone can't.
I wonder if the microphone. We'll find out.
Well, if you can hear that part of the episode, you are better than Ricardo Montalban. Because, oh yeah, I'm going to turn around, pretend like I'm giving you orders. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take over his ship. He can't hear us right now because my back is turned. And I feel like they stole that for Galaxy Quest. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little...
I gave you
no.
the
No, I was
kill
agreeing
order.
with you. We were dead. Yeah, no, and...
Like, I know where the whole button is.
Like, honestly, that could very well be a movie-killing plot hole right there.
Not to
Because
mention,
he would have heard their attack. They never would have been able to attack his ship. That ship would have been fully operational and thus destroyed the Enterprise.
Well, even as it's
Yeah.
saying the next part of that same plot point, it says that they were monitoring Enterprise's activities, so they would have known they were being locked onto, because it showed that the Enterprise knew when they were locked onto.
Yeah,
And
both
they
ships
knew,
would have realized
those ships knew when the shields were up or down. They knew when the ships
Yeah.
were locked on. It's like, hey, they can hit us. They're gonna hit us. They just hit us.
Hey, no, like, even, like, and I hate to say it, let's use modern-day technology.
Nothing wrong with it.
Fighter jets know when they have been locked on.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are not fighter jets. The Admiral is on one of these ships. One of the Admiral's original crew is on the other ship.
And if it was just Kahn by himself, they could get away with that.
No,
but you had a whole crew watching.
I don't
Yeah.
know the specs on a Miranda-class starship. They might not know when a superior fleet ship has locked onto them. They might not know when the Enterprise, which is called out for problems like maybe a ship getting taken over.
Maybe.
And therefore, they do not know when an Enterprise, or what is it, a Constitution-class starship has locked onto them.
There's a chance that
I did some looking up on shit.
Pat him on the shoulder.
Oh, I was gonna break my arm jerking myself off, but okay.
Yeah, I'll pat you on the back, bud.
But no, yeah. So yeah, the Reliant.
Oh, yeah. the
Yeah.
next one, though.
All right, go ahead.
I like this next one, too.
Go ahead then.
At the very start of the film, it's supposed to be a training mission, yet many of the key positions are manned by the veterans, not the trainees.
Yep.
No, and I like how they took that clearly at least 50 to 60-year-old Doc Bones. All right, so here's what I want you to do. Just jump backwards, full force. But, dude, I'm a doctor, not a stuntman.
But he did a good performance.
No, yeah, well, I'm not an actor.
I will
critic.
say, though, on the actual flight, Kirk was not an asshole this time. He did not take over. He's like, no,
Yes,
you
he
guys-
did.
No, he stood back saying, no.
No, that's something I noticed. I'm not going to be taking over the whole ship. Walks onto the bridge the next fucking scene. I'm commandeering the ship for this mission. Heading there. And that's when Sulu says his line up, blah, blah.
Yeah,
you know.
but he never actually took the seat. He let them still
No,
control the ship.
He just issued all the commands.
Yeah.
But he promised not to sit in the chair. So good for him.
I'm just saying, he still let the crew, even though the veterans were still taking over most of the crew, he wasn't as much a dick as he was in the first one. Like, he was like, no, I got it. No, I got it. I'm gonna do it.
You know what?
Now
I
he's
think
like,
I actually
go
have
there.
the answer for that one. For the veterans one.
Yeah.
Because they're not training somebody to fly the ship. They're not training somebody to be the medical officer. They are training commanders.
Correct.
Yep. And Savik was pretty much commanding
Yeah.
ship most of the time.
So they don't want to give that trainee any excuses for having failed other than you fucked up.
That actually makes sense. You know, I
That does
agree.
make a lot of
All
sense.
these people have been in these situations before. You're the only variable. Go.
Yep. That makes complete sense, actually. So I would take that off
You know
there.
what?
Yeah.
Come here. Just come here.
And
No,
pretty much-
Little bit.
Slower.
Jerk me off, dude.
No,
Come
no,
on.
I'll whack you up, I'll whack you up.
There's your answer for that
Don't
one.
get Bruce Shields.
It's a good chance. All right. So we got two more here on these. When the Alliance scans for life forms, why couldn't they detect Kahn's people? The discussion on the line implies that the only thing they are detecting is minor life signs. That is ambiguous for it to even be a life form. Hence, beaming down to investigate. You guys are right. It says right here, beaming. All right. Even the hand scanners that Terrell and Chekhov carry just detect Kahn's pets in the glass case, the minor life sign, and not the people outside.
That's true.
Which is a plot hole that could kill this movie.
I mean, I was gonna try to chalk that up to the desert, the winds, and the storm kind of interfering with the sensors, but they clearly, like it just said there, they detected only that small little creature, his little, and that's not the only one. That was a non-domesticated pet version.
I don't
there
care
were others on
how
that planet.
genetically superior you are, you're still a life form.
Yeah.
The next one, I'm gonna argue that.
All right, read it out then if you want to argue it.
All right. How Kahn and his followers could possibly know that Zeta Alpha 5 has exploded is never determined. Even if they had rudimentary astrological observation systems with them, the explosion of the planet, unless it is on the same side of the solar system star, would be unobservable. If it was observable from Zeta Alpha 6, then why it would have been close enough to shift the other planet's orbit without destroying it is never explained.
You know what?
pretty
That's a good
sure
question.
If Mars, they actually just fixed it with the observable on our side of the
If it
star.
was observable,
If it was on the other side of the star, then yeah, I can understand them not seeing it. But I'm telling you, like Mars, right now we can see Mars clear as day. If that fucking planet exploded, pretty sure we'd see it.
At night.
No, here's
Even
one
during the
that
day.
I
It would
just
look like a
realized.
star in the middle of the day.
Well, here's one that I just realized. Okay, now yeah, if Mars exploded, I understand what you're saying. But it wasn't Mars that exploded. It was, for all intents and purposes, Venus that exploded. Now, even worse than that, if Venus explodes, it's not gonna push us out, it's gonna push us in. Zeta Alpha 5 should have become Zeta Alpha 4. Because
Why
it
would
would
it
have
push us
gone
in?
closer. Well, because
gravity.
6 and 5, it's numerical. 1 is the closest to the sun, 6 is the farthest, correct?
Yes.
So if 6 explodes, 5's here, right next to it. When it explodes, there's going to be an explosive force to throw it off of its axis, right? Which means it's going to push in, not out.
It should
Correct.
theoretically pull it.
Yeah.
Knock it off to where the gravity would pull it in.
Unless the explosion of that planet affected the gravitational pull and it drifted farther out.
Swung it around into the
Might have.
star.
It could have went either way depending on the angles and the explosion, the force,
And
and how
We're
gravity.
close it
getting
was.
into
Pull.
physics. We don't need to.
Whoa,
It's
whoa,
okay.
whoa. I want to get into physics. I don't understand physics and I'd like to learn tonight.
No.
You don't know physics either.
I have no idea.
All right. Well, basically though, this movie's dead in the water, in the space.
It was
whatever
still
you
better
wanna call
done than the first one, but yeah, it's still dead.
Yes.
There were still some, and I think that comes from trying to make a movie that was part 2 of an episode.
No, I feel like the real mistake is coming from trying to give you a reason to do something to a planet with people on it without acknowledging you're doing something to a planet with people on it. The social justice warriordom of it.
Yeah.
We want to hurt a group of people, but we don't want to make it look like we're trying to hurt a group of people. It happened accidentally.
Yeah, maybe that's why they did the whole hide the
Jazz hands.
Maybe they did that in the new one when they hid Kahn as people inside the warheads. Maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know if they used the warhead. They're gone. Even they could have just killed them, but maybe.
Maybe.
Because you're right. And maybe Starfleet knew and they were just trying to
Of course,
cover
in
up.
that newer movie, they clearly stated this. Bones stated this is not any warhead I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because they weren't warheads. They were small ships for landing onto the planet.
Yes.
Yep.
They were disguised as warheads, but they were actually just pods.
Now, I don't think we're doing that movie yet, but I am going to bring it up before we ever do that movie. The one thing that annoyed me about that movie, I don't know a single doctor who does surgery in my life who'd ever risk his fucking hand for anything.
Yeah.
You're a doctor. You need your hand to do surgery. You're not sticking your hand into holes you don't know what's on the other side of.
Yeah.
Fucking
Now,
Bones.
before we
He's
sign
a
off,
doctor, not a
do
mechanic.
we want to discuss that particular headcanon found on Reddit about humans being equivalent to Doc Brown of the Star Trek universe?
If you want to go into that, but I don't think Steve
Have
knows
you-
what you're talking
I
about.
have no idea.
Oh, you've never heard this?
No.
Oh.
But Steve is so fat his belly button echoes.
All right, so basically,
It's gross
humans they're like Doc Brown. We do crazy shit. Like Vulcans give us like, hey, wow, you've learned about warp drive. We're gonna include you in the Federation now. This is great. Sure. It's like, okay, can we have 2 warp drives? Oh yeah, you want to experiment one, have one backup? Sure. Now we're gonna tie them together and see what happens. We're gonna go twice as fast.
And then I'm gonna try to do it, but I only know one man who can actually pull it off great. But
Yeah.
You
But
did a pretty
basically,
good
I
job.
mean, I'll show you the link later on Reddit, and the actual person came up with it, and people added to it. But basically, it shows how throughout all the Star Treks, all the Federation ships have these major issues that always seem to go wrong. Yet the Klingons, the Vulcans specific, the Romulans, never had these issues. Why? Because when they take one look at our engine rooms, they're like, nope. That's why Scotty's always the engineer, because no Vulcan, no Klingon, none of them are going to go in there because they're scared to death of what we've done in there.
Huh.
I mean, remember,
Yeah.
we've
What
gone
did I
back in
say
time with
earlier?
this shit.
It is the interstellar equivalent to walking in the room and go, are those 2 wires held together by bubblegum?
Yeah. They in the post, people were like, Vulcans view the MacGyver TV series and movies as human history, but a horror story.
Oh my god.
It's American Horror
I mean,
Story.
basically, in Star Trek, they've gone back in time. They came across, basically, if our society went more modern with weapons and stuff, fought them because they got offended by that, and then used their warp cores to punch back through this side to come back. And
Yeah.
still do their experiment, turning a sun
Yeah.
into a Taurus, a Torus. I'm not sure what that was.
the bull.
Hmm?
Torres? The bull?
No, Torus. It was experiment. I have to look it up
Torres.
later. I don't know.
Okay. well,
Anyways, this
I
was
will-
just no link. I'll show you later. It's
You should have gave me this
It's
information
hilarious.
earlier to research.
yeah, it's hilarious. Because
But
the
no, yeah,
Klingons
I
like
mean, it is the space equivalent
join
to
your
sticking
federation?
pennies into your circuit breaker.
it's also why Vulcans have adapted the word fuck.
I just realized another.
Because dealing with us.
I just realized another plot hole.
yeah.
It took me a little minute, but okay. I understand that Kirk is allergic to Retinax, whatever. He can't take that. What happened to laser eye surgery?
Well, yeah. If once your eyes stop changing, you can then have LASIK surgery to overcome whatever it is. It's just you don't get it. Basically, you get eye surgery, laser eye surgery. Once your eyes stop changing in your early 20s, it will last you till about when you need bifocals.
And
then
now
you
he
could
needs
do it again,
bifocals.
and then you wouldn't need
But
it.
he never had laser eye surgery.
Assuming your
before
eyes
so now.
stop changing in that regard.
Coming from 3 guys that all wear glasses.
Yeah, but I've looked into this because
That none of us are willing to get laser eye surgery because we're not admirals of a space fleet who are best friends with a doctor who's in the fucking room.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm allergic to the medication. Why not laser eye surgery? Because fuck you. I need the glasses to have at the end of the movie as a symbolism for one lens being cracked and Spock being gone. The pair apart.
Yep.
It's cinematic symbolism. Symbology.
Symbology.
So,
Word
but,
you're looking for.
but we are fine with taking a break from Star Trek, right?
Yeah, we'll move on to something
Yeah,
else from here.
we'll explore new and vast movies over a 5-year mission. Anyway,
Orgasm?
so
It's
do you want to be the rear admiral?
I'll be your rear admiral.
I think the blonde lady was Kirk's rear admiral, with the sun and all.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I think this movie is dead. We've killed it. And then we looted its corpse.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so this is Tom,
This is Blake.
This is Steve.
and that was Tape.
Movie killed.